morning from Košice. It's the second, third kind of day of the... Okay, there's no way people can hear me with this.
So it was a bit loud, and I decided to add a couple of comments from home because it's just a bit easier. Also, there wasn't that much time to do comments and that kind of thing over in Košice. So this is the third time I'm actually filming this because I don't know. I mean, I just talk too much. And it's taken me forever to get this video up. Actually, there's a version uploaded right now, but it is what it is. And I'm talking too much again, so moving on. Right, so in a nutshell, I went to the European Youth Conference, which is part of this thing called the Structured Dialogue. And for the Structured Dialogue, we have, for each year and a half, we have one specific subject that we're focusing on. And right now the subject or the topic for the Structured Dialogue is enabling all young people to engage in a diverse, connected and inclusive Europe. That's the topic. And then, well, what we do really is we consult young people in all of the countries. So in every EU member state, we run like online consultations, we do face-to-face discussion groups, things like that. We gather the opinion of young people, what are their problems and concerns and thoughts on this subject. And then we come together at the European Youth Conference to really, well, okay, so we come together before we do the consultation, then after the consultation, and then for the final one as well. But anyway, that's just getting into maybe too many details. Right, so based on the information we get from the consultations, we come together at the conference, and then together with young people like me, so youth delegates, but also officials like people from the European Commission's, people from national ministries, youth workers, etc. We all come together. You know, we also have some international youth organizations, and then we try and come up with some, you know, some of the, like, what are the main problems here based on the consultations, and how can we really make something better, what should be done to improve the situation. So it's really a dialogue between, you know, the officials, but also the young people. I was in a specific discussion group. Everybody is. We don't all kind of go into all the things that come out from the consultations. But mine had the topic of fostering young people's engagement in society, especially for vulnerable groups. And what we ended up focusing on was that we need sort of a more individual approach in the services and the things we provide to young people or will be providing in the future. Well, technically to anyone really. Because if we take something like school, it's a very sort of, you know, you could compare it to a factory. You put, you know, kids in there, and then you put them all through the same line, sort of. But we're not all the same, and we need different approaches. We don't all thrive in that one environment. If we are forced to be the same, we can't really develop our individuality, really embrace who we are. How do you then see your value in society if you've been kind of taught to try and be something you're not? So if we really want there not to be any vulnerable groups anymore, we need to make sure that, you know, we can allow for more individuality, that we have tailor-made services that help each individual grow the best they could. You know, we need everybody to feel like they matter to society, that their contribution is important, because it is, but it's difficult to realize if you feel like you don't fit in. So we're really calling for more tailor-made approaches and for individuality to be really allowed, celebrated, and nourished. So yeah. It's like a much longer discussion, obviously. I just tried to kind of take together what we more specifically talked about. And I'll also link below the full final document with like all of the results from all the discussions. there's also, of course, plenary time. There are welcoming speeches, lots of speeches always. I always think that the from the commission, Mr. Christensen always gives a really, really good speech. There's always something interesting there to listen to. It's not, you know, like the basic hello.
In the European Union, we thought that this was all part of history. And this is no longer the case. Russia has taken a lump of the neighboring countries by military force, and its mercenaries are running a semi-war in Ukraine. One of these things that is a concern for everybody. I don't think any of us has an answer to how to settle this. There are lots of efforts going into it, but it's a concern for everybody because.
Then we also have from the side of the hosting country, the youth. National Youth Council will give a speech, and Matej from Slovakia, his speech was really cute, short and funny. Good speech again, like great to follow.
Tell maybe 2-3 jokes and then go away. That was meant to be the first one, by the way. Yeah. No, but I wanted to say one mildly serious thing. I think the fact that we are here in Košice is metaphorically important because for most of us based in the capital and for you traveling yesterday, you realized it's not really a well-trodden path. Košice is a bit out of the way for every one of us. And you know, you traveled a few more hours than to Amsterdam conference. We had to travel by overnight trains here from Bratislava, etc., etc., which is, I think, a metaphor of what we are trying to do here. Because
and then also for welcoming, we had Luis, who is the vice president of the European Youth Forum, give a speech, and he kind of really tried to get us in the mindset of what the structured dialogue is and what the topic is, and to, you know, kind of focus on that.
We now have the chance to deep dive into real stories, personal challenges, and obstacles that young people face in engaging in a diverse, connected and inclusive Europe. So we start this conversation again.
Oh, and then there was this really cool thing where you could ask questions with paper planes. So they gave us paper and we could write questions on it and just fly it in there. So that was really cool as well. Of course, always there's some sort of cultural program. So the hosting country, you know, at dinner can put together like a program of their like national dances or anything they really want to kind of show off their culture or just show us how they throw a nice evening program. And I definitely have some clips of that. Yeah, it was really fun. We danced a lot and just, it's nice after a long day of discussions. And again, that's where everybody comes together. It doesn't matter if you're a youth delegate or you come from the European Commission. We're all on the dance floor and enjoying ourselves, and it's really fun. And then I didn't have that much time to explore around in Košice and to see it. I hadn't been to Košice before. I have been to Bratislava before and seen a bit more of that. But yeah, I did have a little bit of time to walk around. And one really cool thing I discovered was some tea. So I went to a food store because I always go to food stores. I really like seeing them, seeing what different stuff is available. They had this veggie tea, which looked really cool. And the one I got is with cucumber. And it's really tasty. So I thought that I would let you know if you want anything cool from Slovakia. I thought that was really nice, and it does seem like a Slovak brand as well. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it took me quite long to upload it. It's just been one of those videos where there's just so much mess. Everything goes wrong. But there's definitely others, just fun things I do. There will be one right over here on the screen. Another video of mine you can go and check out. Subscribe to my channel if you want notifications of when I upload, and I will see you soon. Bye!